To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Bomac. Bomac, of course, is a trainer of Terrence Crawford, and this is what he had to say. He said, Spence is something special. I know how much Bud wants to fight him and conquer 147. Although most of the boxing world continues to call for a showdown between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime manager, refuses to get caught up in the ongoing drama. For the better part of the last 5 years, both fighters have been regarded as the best fighters in the welterweight division. Spence, 28-0, 22 KOs, added a third belt to his collection, courtesy of a 10th round stoppage of Yordenis Ugas earlier this year. The Dallas native issued a stern call-out to Terrence Crawford. Elated in his decision to challenge him publicly, Crawford, 38-0 with 29 KOs, openly accepted. Since then, however, both sides have met countless rough patches along the way, with their recent round of talks falling through. Considering Spence's unblemished record, McIntyre acknowledges that the powerful southpaw deserves endless praise for his otherworldly talent. Nevertheless, the world-renowned trainer believes that Crawford is both craving and yearning for the undisputed fight. And this is what he had to say. He said, obviously, Spence is something special because of where he's at in the game. But I know Bud. I know how much Bud wants to fight Spence, and he wants to conquer the 147-pound division. He wants to be the undisputed king at 147. Let me counterpunch. Advantage Crawford. Team Crawford, rather. Because the last thing you want to do is to downgrade the fighter that you claim you want to fight. You know, so if you're a trainer on the opposite end, you want to praise that other fighter. Because if the fight gets done and your fighter beats that fighter, then you would have already given the praise, you would have gave the accolades, you've already set up a divine win. Versus if you shot down your opponent, then you can't say how good your fighter is because you've already trashed the fighter that he's supposed to have been fighting, and he wasn't anything. He's a bum. He's an underachiever. He's overrated. He's this, he's that, and everything else in a hat. Bars. He's nothing special. Those type of things, if you say that and you speak and you utter those particular things, your fighter won't have the just due because you spent all this time shooting that fighter down. So basically, both of you guys are going down in flames if your fighter beats that fighter that's supposed to be a bum anyway. So good job for Bo McIntyre. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and say this is damage control. I don't think so. I think that Bomac has definitely been a guy that knows Terrence Crawford, and he knows the frustrations of the politics behind this. And this fight is not because the guys don't want it. It's because really the powers that be, Al Heyman, doesn't want this fight or just don't have the money provided to offer these guys what they deserve to fight or to make this fight. That's just simple. I think they need to work on their priorities over there at the PBC, if there is a PBC Fox anymore. Because at this point, you have fighters only waiting around for bigger paydays because they're not making their just due for normal fights that they should be making to build their careers, to make more money ultimately in their careers. You know, it's simple. You know, if you don't fight the fighters you need to fight, there's nothing to build. You know, you can't get to a certain level if you don't build the blocks to get to that level. And these fighters are not doing that because the promotional companies, let's face it, don't have the money or the resources to promote them, to make these fights happen, to give them what they need. They still put their lives on the lines, but it's at a lower cost because these are fights that are being made that no one really wants to see. And then when you get a fight that everyone wants to see, there's been no real building foundation upon that to make the fight like this. Unless they go somewhere else, which they don't want to do because they're too headstrong, they're too stubborn, they're too proud. Okay. But then you can have Mayweather jumping ship to go to the zone. So a lot of this stuff comes from the fact that people honestly don't want to admit, like, hey, we just don't have the money. We don't have it. They don't have the money for Spence. They don't have the money for Crawford. So at what point do you allow these guys to go to another outfit or go to another network that would provide them with the right type of promotion and the right type of salary to make this fight happen? We need Felix Trinidad. We need De La Hoya. We need De La Hoya. We need Sweet Pea Whitaker. We need all types of these fights to happen once again because this is sinking. We need to stop focusing on exhibitions and giving advances to people that already retired, like multi-millions of dollars, and focus on the premier fighters at hand. Premier boxing champions is supposed to mean exactly that. Premier, first, not last. Okay? Boxing champions, premier boxing champions. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Bomac praising Errol the True Spence from what he's done in his career. Surprisingly, of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.